I just love this photo. I love the horse coming right at us, and then this horse in profile in silhouette. This gives us an idea of the landscape. So if you are going to change the format, you have some reference to work with. This is a book I want to recommend. This was a copy of a book when it was out of print. It's another Jack Ham book, and I may have recommended this before. It's now in print. So if you go to Amazon, How to Draw Animals by Jack Ham with 2 M's. So it's one thing to draw from a photo, but it's also important to understand what you're looking at. Step by step, drawing a horse in profile. Horse is in front view. So one of our horses is in front view. Imagine I'm with Kathleen and we're out in Montana at this park and we see these horses. So I want to capture the horses. The idea is you just keep moving your pencil or your pen around. In this way, I can get a sense of the three-dimensional form of the horse. Ears and the head into the grass, and then these legs. And now I'm moving on to another horse. So I want his nose, his mouth to be down near his feet. The foreshortening can be challenging, but when you're scribbling and you know you have to move fast, you don't have time to worry about things. And so here, again, the foreshortening. Here's the belly. But scribble, scribble. Keep your pencil moving. Don't erase if you're using a pencil. I'm drawing circles for this horse and a big shape for the head. So there's so many ways to draw. This is just one of them. Oh, I'm feeling very warmed up now. As I said, if you did a sketch here that you really liked, you could trace it and then transfer it to watercolor paper and do it. I'm going to have a tree here. It's kind of pointing at this horse as if this horse weren't important enough. I'm not going to have it right next to the eye. I moved it away from the eye a little. I'm going to make this rump a little bigger. A big part of drawing something is redrawing it or making little corrections as you go along. It's easy to be really impatient and want to get right to the painting. No matter how good your watercolor is, it's not going to fix a bad drawing. Yeah, so I'm going to move this tree over here. For the pines, it's going to be a lot of texture. I got my sponge out. I might use my sponge. We'll see. I'll start with some burnt sienna and some ultramarine. So that gives me a neutral, but I'm also going to add some Q rose. So that with the ultramarine gives me a purpley color. And then adding the burnt sienna. Ooh, bingo. Yeah, I think I got it. And that's a simple combo. So it's a pink, any pink, ultramarine, and burnt sienna. So I'm also going to use that color combo elsewhere. And for the greens, I'm just going to go for my sap. Now, very often I start with the background. when I do the background, I'm going to go right over this horse because that horse is going to be so dark. We shouldn't have to be concerned about it. So I'm going to use a big brush. I always start with the sky. This is just a little cobalt with a little Winsor blue, and it's going to be dilute. There's a sky color. I'm going to wet the sky. I'm dragging this water right across here, going around the horse's ears. And so this is just going to be a suggestion of sky. Over here, I'm going to just have a little green kind of blending in with the sky, maybe a touch of that Q gold with the green. That's just to make a soft transition. Now I'm looking at this tree right here. I don't have to worry about the trunks because they're dark, but I am going to go like this and go right in to this hill. Like I said, I'm not going to worry about this horse. It's in shadow, so I can go right over him. But this horse, I want to go around. Now I'm going to wet this part of the paper. And I brought green in here. I didn't want green right there because that's going to be a path. So I'm going to take the Q gold with a little of the horse color mix that I made just to neutralize it. That's going to be a path color. So here again, I'm in the foreground. Now I'm taking the bead of paint that's coming down to make grasses that will go into a white area here. So I'm using the point of my oval, and I might even drop a little green in here. And now I'm going to take this little synthetic brush. So I have a damp brush in one hand. Not going to worry about the trees. I'll paint right over them. So I'm wetting, but kind of in a haphazard way. I'm not trying to soak every bit of the paper. And there's still a little green in my brush. Okay, so back to the green, pure green. It's got some Q gold and a little of the sky color in it. And I'll be putting shadow colors in the grasses. All right, I'm going to dry this now. So I'm going to have two brushes in my hand. One just water. I've got a 10 in one hand and a 4 or 6 in the other. Let's start with the rump, and I'm seeing it's a little bluer on his rump. I see cerulean back here. So this is the water. I'm going to go back to my horse color. So this is where it's good not to do wet and wet because there's a lot of variation in the value. I want to get some strong color in here, not too much water. Here I'm going to wet it. Wet this belly. Now I really want to do a little of the fur foliage. I'm going to wet my sponge and I'm going to dip it in. I'm going to go into the Q Gold and then into my green. And let's see how this looks. It's not bad. Good for texture. Now over here where I got that bloom, I can put a little down here. That works out. All right, I'm all about the sponge tonight.